These are my two pet baby dragons. They have spiky armor-like scales on their back to provide protection against predators. But not only do they look like a dragon, but people on the internet are absolutely obsessed with these creatures because it reminds you of Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. Now, these so-called baby dragons are actually called red-eyed crocodile skinks. I only have two of these little guys, so I'm going to buy one more of them to create an army of dragons. I found one for sale. These are very hard to come by. They're always sold out everywhere. And we're going to get another female because if you've seen my last two videos on these guys, I've gotten one male and one female, so it was mandatory to get another female because two males in the same enclosure will want to fight each other for territory. So Gerald's gonna have two girlfriends now, so he's got a lot to handle. But not only am I going to have an army of dragons, but in this video I'm going to build them a brand new dream home and see how good of a pet all three of them can be. And in 3 days I got an email saying my package is here. Oh shoot, I was laying on the side. Oh my god, moment of truth. Oh my god. Oh my god. Here she is. She's fat, guys, she's fat. Just be very slow. Compared to the two that we already have, this one is way bigger than both of them. I'm going to get Gerald and his girlfriend right now. Oh my god, guys. We have an army of baby dragons. Look at them. While these guys are just chilling, I set up a temporary tank to leave them in while I get their enclosure built. I'm just gonna go ahead and put them in there and we'll get started on the home. Whoa. In the wild, these crocodile skinks live on the forest floor in very humid areas. So in their enclosures, there's a few requirements to make these guys really feel at home. And the first one is a lake, because these guys love to swim and spend a lot of their life by rivers or creeks. But what they also need are a lot of caves to hide in because these guys are very shy and they love to hide. To start this build, I went to the store to get some supplies. And for the actual enclosure, I went with a 40-gallon tank. Since these crocodile skinks live on the floor, it was a good idea to get some cocoa fiber. This is a great option for Substrate. But along with it, I had to get a bunch of building supplies to make our enclosure look exactly like a forest. And finally, I picked up some plants that do very well in enclosures. On my way home, I decided to stop at this tree to pick out some branches. The tank I got came with a bunch of extra materials that I didn't have to spend any extra money on. But inside this enclosure, I'm making a little pond, so I laid out some glass and I siliconed it to the tank. If you've been watching the channel, you know exactly what this is. So this is actually very high quality. It took me a long time to make.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Now spreading this all over the glass was very important for, in fact, a lot of reasons. Alright, I made my own filter because I don't want to spend like 25 bucks. Guys, to filter the water, I made this tight little hole and it's gonna get gaped by this pump. The plan with these sticks, I'm just gonna lay these on the back wall. Doing this makes the tank feel more realistic and one-to-one to an actual forest. To make the stick stay on the wall, I sprayed down some expanding foam. And I did this on all three sides. The foam has dried now, but it looks very unnatural. All I'm gonna do is just cut little pieces off. I have something to tell you guys. The past like 6 months, I've been uncontrollably. So, I have something to show you guys. Don't be mad at me, guys. But I have been collecting this whole entire cup full. It's kind of sad that I've kind of gone down this path.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Alright. Spreading man-made glue over the foam will make it very sticky. This will allow me to pour soil all over it to make it look natural. I got some regular soil right here, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sprinkle it on top of this so it'll stick. Now that it's all laid, I'm gonna press it down so it sticks. After I did the other two sides, the back wall was now complete. This technique just creates a lot of structure and variety for our crocodile skinks. For the base layer of substrate, I wanted to lay down some lava rocks. These small rocks just provide area for extra moisture to soak into. What I'm basically laying down here is a mesh screen to separate the soil from the rocks, because if the soil and rocks mix together, it wouldn't function properly. Alright, for the substrate, I got these bricks from Colombia, about 15 kilos. A lot of product here, so we're gonna start shaving these down and see what we got. So I'm supposed to mix this with a gallon of gasoline. There's gonna be some good coca. god. Ain't that good? Good coca. For the actual substrate, we're gonna do a little mix. We're gonna take our cocoa fiber, some soil, some sphagnum moss, and some leaves. I'm gonna put some cocoa fiber, some soil, this whole thing of moss inside of here. After our combination was fully complete, I fully mixed it and then I put it inside of the enclosure. Now the glass I put was raised a little bit higher than the dirt, so I put this clay to kind of make it look more natural. Then I put some more dirt on top of it so it looks a bit better. For the pond, I kept it simple and just put some gravel and sand. Since I'm keeping 3 crocodile skinks in the same enclosure, I decided to put about 6 hides. Usually they would do very well in a small tank, about like 20 gallons, but I needed to give them a little more space since there was 3 of them. But at the end of the video, you'll actually find out that I messed up this whole idea of keeping them all together, and this whole tank was a waste. Yeah. Alright, so this is gonna be a very moist environment, about 80%. So I got these misters that will keep it very moist. At the time I was recording this, I had no idea that keeping all 3 of them together was a bad idea. And it's not very smart to do because these creatures are very territorial. Not just the males, but also the females. Now that the tank's all done, I'm gonna get our 3 dragons and bring them out. Oh my god, this is his new girlfriend right here. Alright. Fun fact, these guys can actually swim underwater, which is pretty cool. These guys can actually hold their breath for apparently over 30 minutes, which is actually kind of insane. She's actually really fat. What if she's like pregnant? I don't know. She might crawl up my arm. And by the way, I want you guys to name Gerald's new girlfriend, because last video everybody wanted to name her Geraldina, and I guess that's her name now. So leave recommendations in the comments and I'll look through them. Alright guys. Oh my god. This is Gerald and his original girlfriend. There they go! So this is the time when I actually decided I didn't want to keep all 3 of them together. I knew beforehand that they liked being alone or as a pair, but I thought if they had enough space and lots of hides, they would be fine. But there was always that thought in my head that it wasn't a good idea, so I did something special for them. Right, so I forgot to record, but I put about 7 mealworms in here. There's 3 left. It got a little wet from the sprinkler. It's not a very good spot for this. So it's now time to take out Gerald and his new girlfriend. They've only been in this enclosure for about 2 days, so I'm sure nothing happened to them. But luckily enough, I found one that was by itself, and the other 2 were both together in a different spot. This is actually Geraldina. This is not Gerald, so... Are you filming right now? Guys, Gerald is with his new girlfriend. He's not even with his old one. There we go.
I hate you!
This is indeed Gerald. The new enclosure I'm making them is about 20 gallons, which is a preferred size for these guys. I didn't want this to be a normal enclosure, so this was going to be a breeding enclosure. I got a lot of inspiration from this one YouTuber that has red-eyed crocodile skinks, and he shows how to make a perfect breeding enclosure. It was a fairly simple tank to set up, and my main goal for this is to hopefully get some baby dragons one day. These skinks typically lay 1 egg at a time, and it could take about a few weeks to about a month for an egg to actually be laid. So this is basically just a miniature version of the tank that we already built. I used all the same materials and I even had the same features. For the hides, I used half of a PVC pipe to just keep it pretty simple. Now that it's all finished, I moved it into my room and filled it up with water. So this one is Gerald, and this one is Gerald's new girlfriend that you guys still have to name. We're gonna put them in their new breeding enclosure. Oh my god. Gerald's my favorite. In you go. Oh my god, look at them. At the time, I feel way better about this situation, and I just hope Gerald lays some good pipe into her. And as for Geraldina, I mean, I guess they're divorced now, so I might have to get another male. But at the moment, she's gonna be single, and I put her back inside of her enclosure. And I want you guys to leave recommendations on what we should do about this situation. And I also have 2 more videos on these guys, so be sure to check them out.